Welcome to Prophecy News Update. My name is Tom Gilbreth. On our last program, we looked at the novel coronavirus outbreak, now called Covid-19. We're going to look at that outbreak again this week because the story is so big, it is changing so fast, and because of its clear ties to Bible prophecy. It's important to understand that Covid-19 is not alone. It's only one part of the global turmoil now taking shape. Last days related events are now rocking the planet. Human institutions are proving to be fragile in the face of these onslaughts. At every turn, we see signs pointing to the soon return of Jesus Christ. If you know Him, that's not scary news. That's amazing news. That's glorious news. Biblically, COVID-19 is a pestilence or plague. A great deal of Scripture points to various plagues coming on the world in the final years before Christ's return. In Luke 21, Jesus said, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be great earthquakes in various places, and famines and pestilences." In other words, COVID-19 and the world's reaction to it is a preview of coming, well, not attractions, but convulsions. This is a global pestilence bringing fear, panic, and a continued diminishing of our freedoms. For instance, paper money spreads germs. In China, they are sterilizing cash. Others have a different solution. They are using COVID-19 to push for a cashless society, like the one described for the last days in the book of Revelation. Revelation describes this future end times monetary system as something that will require extreme levels of surveillance. China is using COVID-19 as an excuse to ramp up its already extreme surveillance. It is using drones to identify anyone on the streets who shouldn't be there. Think of all the things that have happened as a result of this latest outbreak. That includes major shifts in government policies the world over. Includes changes in monetary policies, restrictions on travel, events canceled, schools closed, fear, hoarding. But so far, COVID-19 hasn't actually killed as many people as die from the flu every year. Imagine the damage it might do if it became the full-blown global pandemic many now fear. In the scripture I just read, Jesus used a word that is even more ominous than the word pestilence. He said pestilences, plural. There will be lots of them. Some will seem small, like the often aggressive herpes-infected monkeys of northern Florida, or the belligerent peacocks infesting Miami. Other end times pestilences will be huge, like the locusts now swarming in Ethiopia, Somalia, South Sudan, Uganda, and Kenya. Some locust swarms have made their way as far north as Egypt. Countries as far away as China are bracing for possible infestations. People in East Africa say they have never seen anything like it. One man told the New York Times that when a swarm enveloped his village, it was like an umbrella had covered the sky. A swarm can travel 80 miles in a day. It can contain as many as 200 million locusts per square mile, and one swarm can cover 460 square miles. A single swarm can eat 400 million pounds of vegetation a day. That's the same amount of food 35,000 people eat in a day. The huge swarms already threaten food security across Eastern Africa. And if you can believe the United Nations, there's a story that should be getting headlines. They say if the locusts are not stopped soon, the current numbers could grow 500 times by June. The scripture we just read puts pestilences together with famines as signs of the Lord's coming. And if the current numbers grow 500 times by June, we will see famine in Africa. But for now, the most urgent pestilence story in the world remains COVID-19, or novel coronavirus. In this context, novel means a new kind. Coronavirus is accurate but not specific. For instance, SARS is a coronavirus, and so is the common cold. At first, we were told that the virus could not be transmitted if the infected person showed no symptoms. We now know that that's not true. And that creates a huge problem because as many as half of the people infected never show symptoms. That makes them unwitting carriers of the disease. Of those who caught the disease on the Diamond Princess cruise ship, 50% showed no symptoms at all. 40% had only mild symptoms, the kind of thing most people think little of. This explains the staggering ability of this disease to spread. On the Diamond Princess, 10% got very sick. Only 3 of the 700 infected actually died from the disease, but the mortality rate is usually close to 2%. 3 months ago, we had never heard of it. Today, according to official numbers, we are approaching 100,000 cases in more than 60 countries. But despite the official numbers, it is impossible to know how many people are actually infected. The symptoms look like so many other diseases, we don't even know for sure how many COVID-19 has killed, but we do know that the number exceeds 3,000. On March 2nd, the Washington Post reported the coronavirus has been circulating undetected and has possibly infected scores of people over the past 6 weeks in Washington state. According to a genetic analysis of virus samples that has sobering implications for the entire country amid heightening anxiety about the likely spread of the disease. As I record this, Washington's COVID-19 death toll is up to 9. In South Korea, the number of cases quadrupled in less than 1 week. 500 new cases were reported on March 2nd alone. The new total seems to be somewhere well past 4,000. In the last few days, the numbers have exploded in Iran. They are officially up to 2,300 cases with 77 dead. There are at least 23 cases among members of parliament alone, and Supreme Leader Khamenei's top aide died of the disease. COVID-19 has now spread to Africa, a continent particularly vulnerable to this kind of infection. Nations like Italy, Australia, Japan, and South Korea are first world nations with first world healthcare systems, but they haven't been able to stop the spread of this disease. Somehow, COVID-19 is getting around all the precautions. We don't know what will happen to airline travel over the next few months. We don't know what will happen to manufacturing. We don't know how severe the shortages may become. We don't know how much it will impact the United States elections this fall. Then there is the crisis within the crisis. COVID-19 is a medical crisis, but it is also an economic crisis. Time magazine reports, according to analysis by research firm Capital Economics, COVID-19 will cost the world economy over $280 billion in the first quarter of this year. They added that some 5 million companies have Chinese suppliers, according to data company Dun & Bradstreet, and all are under threat from slashed manufacturing capacity. The earth has always had plagues. Various single signs of the return of Jesus have cropped up now and again throughout history, but the signs took on new meaning and urgency in 1948 with the birth of the modern state of Israel. Things have been growing more intense since that time, and now, in just the last couple of years, we're seeing something new, a convergence of the signs laid out in the Bible indicating the Lord's soon return. It's time to take it all very seriously. In Luke 21:28, Jesus said, "Now when these things begin to happen, look up and lift up your heads, because your redemption draws near." Thanks for joining me. God willing, we'll see you soon.